I rise to visit a little bit about the emergency declaration by the President, which is a bad idea. I think everybody in this body knows it's a bad idea, and we'll see how many people vote to override that bad idea. And it's a bad idea for a number of reasons. The President says it's for this country's safety, but he's robbing from our military to build a wall on the southern border, which I might add, most of the money that we allocated last fiscal year is still there, $1.3 billion, plus the $1.375 billion that was authorized by the conference committee, which was a group of Democrats and Republicans from the House and the Senate, passed by both bodies, which he received and said, I don't like it, and declared an emergency declaration. So, look, Montana is no stranger to military service. We are home to the second most veterans per capita of any state in the country. Every time our nation is at need, Montanans step up the plate and they answer the call to serve. And that is why today I rise to fight back against the President's declaration that we'll be shortchanging our troops in favor of a campaign promise to build a wall that he said Mexico would pay for. The President's plan to raid our military resources would directly hurt Montana's military community and its men and women that are in uniform. The heart of the Air Force's Global Strike Command is located in Great Falls, Montana, Malmstrom Air Force Base. The 341st Missile Wing at Malmstrom is a critical component in our nation's nuclear triad. It is a great deterrent against adversaries who would do us harm, and as President Kennedy said, it is our ace in the hole. Over the past few years, I've been fighting to secure the military construction dollars on the Appropriations Committee to meet the needs of Malmstrom Air Force Base. I led a bipartisan effort to deliver more than $19 million to construct a new tactical response alert facility. That facility was a top priority for Malmstrom because the current facility is old. It's laden with asbestos and lead paint, and it has complicated efforts to secure the base's missile sites. Also helped secure some $14.6 million for construction of a missile maintenance facility, missile maintenance dispatch facility. This facility will allow the base to more properly and efficiently store critical components and equipment for the missile field, and to retrofit its hangars so that we can ultimately house the replacement fleet for its Vietnam-era Hueys, which should be replaced in the next couple years. Unfortunately, these construction facilities, the construction of these and many others around the country are at risk by the President's decision. More alarmingly, Malmstrom is in critical need of a weapons generation facility, and I've been fighting for years to ensure that this project would be included among the Air Force's top military construction priorities. Earlier this week, just yesterday, the Secretary of the Air Force confirmed that the funding for the facility has been included in the FY 2020 Air Force budget request. This investment represents a significant step forward for Malmstrom and for the Air Force and for our national security. It's important because this is where ICBM warheads are maintained and stored. As a result of the deterioration of this facility, airmen and missileers must confront numerous safety and security challenges while carrying out their mission every day. But now, we have to tell them that this critical project, which the Air Force has said they desperately need, and which they do desperately need, could very well get kicked down the road and kicked down the list of priorities because the President would rather spend billions of the military construction money on construction of his wall. The same is true for other critical infrastructure investments at Malmstrom, including a new security forces compound. But the President doesn't care. He's more interested in robbing taxpayer funds to build an unnecessary wall on the southern border. Congress has rejected the President's request on a bipartisan basis, and his defiance of that rejection comes at the expense of my state's defense installations. Great Falls is also home to the Montana Air National Guard. My older brother was in the Air Guard for 35 years, and I have seen their work up close. Since we entered the Middle East conflict 17 years ago, this country has used the Guard like never before. They've asked a lot of our citizen soldiers and airmen, and they have always delivered. Whether that was deploying to war, fighting against wildfires, or saving families from natural disasters. In Montana, they have asked for little in return, but they have asked for the construction of a new aircraft apron to park and store the Guard's C-130 fleet. So once again, we got to work. We secured the money, $9 million, to make sure that our C-130s will stay in good shape for years to come. Max Baucus and I fought hard to bring those C-130s to Montana, and that is why I'm so outraged that the President's emergency declaration puts this funding at risk. I know that nobody in this body takes the decision of sending young men and women to war lightly, but when those difficult decisions are made, we better deploy them with the best and the safest equipment. The debate today is clear. A vote against the President's disaster declaration is a vote to protect our co-equal branches of government, our system of checks and balances, our Constitution. And a vote for the President's power grab is a vote for federal overreach and a violation of our oath of office. I hope my colleagues who vote for this plan are on the first plane back home to explain to their constituents why they're shirking their basic duties. Explain to communities, of which there are many like Great Falls, Montana, why they're ripping those investments out of their town and out of our military. And explain to our future leaders why it's okay to follow the Constitution only when it's expedient. This disaster declaration undermines the bipartisan work that Republicans and Democrats have done to rebuild our military. It sets a dangerous precedent that no doubt will be abused by future presidents. And everybody in this body knows that. We have an option here. We have the ability to stand with our troops, stand with the Constitution, and reject this declaration. It's critically important. If we're going to have a strong military, and I think we decided last Congress to make investments into our military that were much needed, and now the President's pulling those dollars out. It's nothing short of ridiculous. I yield the floor.